was evacuated on Tuesday in the afternoon with my neighbours who I had evacuated my daughter and myself and my dog to 2 nights prior on the Sunday night. I was also evacuated with several neighbours, 7 in total, who had been stuck on their roof for 2 days. We thought we were going to be left out there. The waters were still rising. It was terrifying. I was terrified for my neighbours, thinking that they wouldn't survive. I was terrified for the other neighbours that on Monday, as I was trying to rescue my daughter's chickens, I saw, having got through some floodwaters in their tinny, carrying their motor and their tinny, we begged them, please, please don't keep going, stay with us, we're going to get evacuated. They kept going in their tinny. An hour later we saw emergency call-outs because they had chained themselves to a tree. The water was moving way too fast. It's only today, day 11 of Bunga Walban residents having been cut off, that they have finally all received enough supplies, and that's the people that we actually know of, that we've heard from. There are people out there who would not have had comms for many days. We still don't know if they are alive. This flood was far beyond any other flood that has ever happened in history. We are a resilient community out there, as are the people from Upper Wilsons Creek and all of those valleys from where we came originally. The response from the government was just not enough. We know climate change is happening. We know that these disasters are going to happen more and more and more. We need more paid staff, more critical response teams, more infrastructure set up, including signal capacity radios. We need paid staff for the SES, the RFS, Fire and Rescue, who are there all the time so that it's not days before they are tasked with rescues. 11 days in, and the Army finally started to do welfare checks. The SES never made it out there. It's through the incredible civilians who I have been coordinating, from choppers to boats, for days and days and days. Many of us evacuees ourselves who have been saving people with supplies of medical urgency, of critical fuel for generators if they were still in working order, food drops, animal rescues. It's not acceptable that I have not been able to be with my family and others haven't been able to be with theirs after we have been through so much. This is not a random natural disaster. This is the act of climate change. This is the effect of climate change. We need the government to actually put the funds where it's needed. We don't need more submarines. We need the finances to go towards creating resilience for the long term. Many of our community were affected by the 2019 bushfires. They've now been affected by these floods. Many of the people in Lismore were affected by the 2017 floods. They had flood plans. They did what was asked of them. We had the information out. I'm a journalist. They were all doing what was asked. They had their flood plans. This is beyond what any normal human can plan for.
And so I started the trek. I didn't realise at that stage it was like 9 Ks. to Motts Road from Palm Woods, and because I know the area quite well, it was very stressful and heartbreaking, especially when I reached Kona Hall, to see the trees with the cars wrapped around them like they were just tinfoil, and obviously the devastation that had occurred at every causeway leading up to Kona, and all the cars at the campground going up, and then just the destruction of the road. It just looked like bombs and missiles had fallen out of the sky and just landed on the road and just split the road open, and there was no road left coming up to Motts Road. The trees that I had to climb over had cables wrapped around them, and they were the size of a car. It looked like the trees had just been pulled out by the water like a weed. It looked like a tsunami had come through. There was water tanks everywhere, large boulders everywhere. The causeways I had to cross by foot, and there was no causeway there, so you'd have to walk up the river and find somewhere safe to cross. All this time I'm still walking up to see my 5-year-old with this very heavy bag on my back, and I was determined to get to him and make sure he was safe and at least had some food to get them through the next few days. As I got up to Motts Road, I started to get really quite tired, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have the strength to walk back, but I had the other 2 children I needed to get home to in Suffolk Park, so it was an almighty venture, a massive trek to get to my son, and I did, and it was a beautiful time that I could spend with him before I had to turn around and get back before it started getting dark. I heard the Westpac helicopter over a property, and at this stage I started to run towards the helicopter. I'm not quite sure actually what I was thinking, but I just knew that I needed maybe some help to get out of there, but the helicopter took off before I could reach it. And as I got back to Kona Hall, I was very lucky to meet up with Jared and Ben, who at that time had pulled a tractor through all the causeways, at least clearing all the causeways from Palm Woods to Kona with their tractor, and we were able to 4-wheel drive from Kona back to Main Arm, where they dropped me back at the tinny, and I was able to get the tinny back over Williams Bridge and jump in my car and return home Tuesday evening. So I was the first one in, as far as I know, prior to SES and the police going in. I don't think that they had gotten up to Motts Road to do an assessment. From the information that I have been given, not even Byron Bay Council had gotten in there before Wednesday or Thursday. So I really didn't know what I was walking into. No one had been up there besides the local residents themselves. So it was sheer willpower of a mother to get to her little boy, make sure that he was safe.
So this video is to show you the real footage from people that was on the front line, that came and helped each other, all the civilians that actually help each others, to rescue each others, to support and save people, pets, animals. This was a very tragic event. Thank you for every member of every single community that came and support and donate. Thank you for all the volunteers that came and helped as much as they could, and they still do. And thank you for everybody else that donate and help everyone in this tough time to recover as much as possible.
Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.